Just double check. Live streaming is officially on. Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2. We are speaking with Konstantinos of the Pirate Party of Greece. We are in the middle of a conversation that I actually would like to pick up, and I'd like to just continue on with it. But I've been receiving a bit of a history lesson, and just not just why the situation in Palestine is so important, but just how it affects just everybody, and just there's certain, you know what, you can say it better than I can, Konstantinos. I don't want to take away any time from you speaking. I want to give you the floor.
Well, Palestine as an issue hits very close to home for Greeks and for every small nation out there that has fought for its liberty. When we were liberated from the Ottoman Empire, the great forces, the colonial forces, England, France, Russia, and so on, would not let us govern ourselves. We had our constitutions, our revolutionary constitutions, the Rethymno Constitution, etc. All those were ditched. Instead, we were given a Bavarian teenager for a monarch, King Otto. Because he was a teenager, and thus he could not reign, he was flanked by 3 regents, 3 viceroys, or however else you may wish to call them. What these guys did was to set up an authoritarian regime immediately. Otto was the absolute monarch. Basically, they did all the governing. He was the figurehead until he reached adulthood. What they did was go after the revolutionist heroes. They destroyed Nikitaras, for instance. He ended his days horribly sick, blind, and panhandling outside the church after having begged the government for a license to beg. They sought to execute 2 of the most iconic and legendary heroes of the revolution, Theodoros Kolokotronis and Ioannis Makrianis. So, yes, we know very well what it's like to be denied your right to self-governance, your right to self-determination, your right to have a constitution, your right to have limits to power, checks and balances, as America calls them, right? As for the illegal occupation of Palestinian land, I'm not gonna get into whether it's legal or illegal. The United Nations say it's illegal. Every respectable international law organization says it's illegal. That's good enough for us. If it's not good enough for several other parties, that's neither here nor there. And I'm not going to enter any discussion with such parties. I'm not going to engage with them. I'm not going to legitimize what they want to say. And of course, the door for cooperation with such parties is locked, perma-locked. Okay? We know what it's like to go through genocide. We've had genocides committed against us. We haven't called what the Germans did to Greece a genocide. Because, well, after World War II, we were basically forced by Konrad Adenauer to give immunity and impunity to Nazi officers who committed atrocities in Greece. The Hitler regime killed upwards of 700,000 people in Greece. All from 1941 to 1942, most of them during the Great Famine of Athens, 1941 to 1942, because they looted everything. They took all of our agricultural production, they took all of our livestock. They don't get me into the villages they massacred, burned, etc. Now, for us to not acknowledge, to not stand against illegal occupation, to not stand against genocide, means that we are giving up the right to invoke international law to defend our own rights in other cases. Roughly half of Cyprus is illegally occupied by Turkey since 1974. Yes, I know very well that this is because of the machinations of the junta, the military dictatorship. But still, it's an illegal occupation. And still, there are missing people who have been killed, but no one knows their fate. We Greeks like to say, "Oh, we are with international law." If you are with international law, you're with international law everywhere. You're with international law in Palestine, in Rwanda, in Yemen, in Sudan, in Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, Ukraine, everywhere. So you must be consistently against the aggressor, against the criminal. I don't care if the criminal's name is Netanyahu, Putin, or whatever have you. I don't care. If we turn a blind eye to one criminal because he's our guy, or because we like the color of his skin, and because we like his religion, and we don't like his victims' color, skin color, origin, ethnic origin, or religion, then we are hypocrites. We lose legitimacy. And of course, with hypocrites and racists, we as a party have no business cooperating on any level. It's that simple. We want to maintain our good name. We want to hold our heads high. Of course, those who choose to be amoral, they don't have such hang-ups. I know, but we do. At any rate, then we saw the illegal boating of the Israeli Navy against the flotilla. We saw the illegal detention or kidnapping, if you will, of the activists. Many of them are being tortured in notorious Israeli prisons. You may have seen the notorious now video of the far right minister Itamar Ben-Gvir calling the activists terrorists and berating them, etc. Where's the outrage? They're not brown people. They're not black people. They're not inferior people, right? They're white. They're Caucasian. And they're being tortured. But hey, why isn't the international community up in arms? Is it because Israel sells them compromat collection software? You know what compromat is? Material that is illegally collected to be held against someone and used to blackmail them. Blackmailware.
100%. And might I just add in, as someone from the United States of America, that we ourselves have a population of indigenous Americans, American Indians, Native Americans, as they've been called. There's a number of names that throughout history we've referred to the people who were here before the European settler project began.
Mm-hmm.
And a key feature in the United States that we see is reservations, Native American reservations or Indian reservations. And often growing up, you think that that is just where we we put them there. Like that's the idea. Like we took them off of their land and put them there. When in reality, what had happened was that is all land that we have not obtained via treaty. So when you see a map that shows complete lines and perfect states of the United States, that is propaganda from our country because there are patches of land and swaths of land within our country that we have legally not obtained and is legally not ours. And to me, that is no different than when you see a map of Israel and they're using no indication of Palestine, no indication of the population of Palestine. They're showing this is Israel, the Golan Heights is Israel, this is Israel, all of this is Israel. And not only do I agree with you that there's more than likely a blackmail operation happening with Israel and high-ranking politicians of many countries, Western or not, I do believe that if the United States ever grew a spine and said what's happening in Israel and Palestine is wrong, we would have to face the music of what we've been doing ourselves. Which, again, this then ties down to European settler colonial projects, which this ultimately is. The Zionist movement comes from European Jews seeking to establish a nation state for the Jewish peoples, to have a homeland to go to. And if nothing else, has this not proven how genocidal the nation state can be? You know, as a Greek, I do ask, was there not a population exchange between Greece and Turkey after World War I, where there were large sections of Anatolia that was historically Greek that are no longer Greek today because
Indeed.
everyone said the Greeks have to go to Greece and the Turks have to go to Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
You're erasing history. You're also population exchanges are a form of genocide as well. And I don't know where we get this idea that it's okay to just move people from where they're from at the point of a barrel of a gun. We don't have. I don't live in a country that's brave enough to say this on the world stage. Greece, to your guys' credit, is one that at least will recognize Palestine at the UN. We won't even do that. We will block every resolution that we can as the United States. And having veto power, we have that ability. It is a travesty. It's disgusting. And it's disappointing to see pirates of Western nations not speak up on this issue. So to see you all speak up on the issue so loudly and so confidently has been very inspiring, to be completely honest with you. I've been very happy to be able to point to the Pirate Party of Greece and say, yeah, this is like who our movement is. Like, this is who we've got in the movement. Which then I do want to ask about that. So the Pirate Party of Greece, as we touched on in the last episode, has left Pirate Party International and has left Pirate Party of Europe. But I want to get more into your guys' new declaration, your new direction, and the future moving forward. I would like to again hand you the floor and I would like to discuss just Greek or the Greek Pirate Party moving forward.
Right. So let's go to the Rethymno Declaration. You have the link, right?
I do. I'm pulling it up in front of me as well. And I will make sure I will post the link in the YouTube comment as well, so that anyone who wishes to see the link may do so as well. So that is now posted in the YouTube comments section. So anyone that wants to is going to be able to.
I'm not going to start with a preamble. It's something very common. It's where we diagnose the situation in the world right now, on the world stage, and in Greece and in Europe. We have grievances with the pirate movement. Ever since 2019, ever since Felix Reda left the pirate movement because the German Pirate Party did not want to remove that sexual harasser guy from its European ballot. There has been very little coordination between the pirate MEPs and pirate parties beyond their national parties, with the exception of the Czechs, namely Marcel Kolaya and come on, I don't remember right now. And Nicolas Pexa. Yeah, these guys were open to communication and collaboration and everything, but Gagorova, no communication, no coordination, no outreach. No one. It seemed like the lights were on, but no one was home. We had the Qatargate scandal. No one from any European Pirate Party or the European Pirate Party itself asked us about it. No one reached out to us to ask, hey guys, what's going on here? Do you need help bringing this up? Nothing. Same with a backslide in press freedom increase. With the various scandals like Predator Gate, nothing. We had the huge crime that was committed outside Pylos, off the shores of Pylos, where more than 600 refugees and migrants were sent to the bottom of the sea. No one asked us about the whole situation with the lack of government accountability in the Tempe train crash case. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Crickets. When you realize that the transnational organization in which you participate, for which you pay subscription, where you supposedly uh, attend meetings, vote, etc., does nothing but exchange offices from one board member to the other, from one alternate board member to the other. Alternate members become board members, etc., and nothing else. What's the political added value in that? What are we doing here? I'm not a neoliberal, but here's where I remember that Thatcher quote. I want my money back. I'm not getting my money's worth. Anyway, since 2019, we had identified some problems with our own party. The single issue nature of the pirate movement has cost it votes. Many votes. When you remain resolutely a single issue party and your shtick is a topic that not many people care for. As I said in the other episode, people say, "Oh, pirates! Come on, these guys just want to download torrents without the law breathing down their throats." And they just want to play games, etc. You become very easy to dismiss, extremely easy to dismiss. In fact, you become irrelevant because the woman on the street, the man on the street, has more pressing issues than copyright. We're not abandoning our struggle for a proper copyright reform because copyright has its implications, censorship implications. Remember how it all started? If we go back in history, it was about a state and church monopoly on what could be published, who could read it, where they could read it. People have more pressing issues. When you do 3 jobs to make ends meet and you can't make ends meet, the Stop Killing Games campaign sounds irrelevant. It sounds like first world problems. When you can't put food on the table, video games, downloading movies, etc., they don't mean anything to you. When you don't have healthcare, when you're scared that if you're diagnosed with something more complicated than a common cold, you'll go bankrupt, then who cares about video games? Who cares about torrents? Who cares about stuff like that? This is where the pirate movement has failed tragically, to communicate its core issues, to show people that it's not just about games, but also about government accountability, democracy, uh, people uh, having a say as to who, as to what is being done with their lives.
You
So
know,
we need
just
to,
to
mhm,
build upon this, I
yeah,
just wanted to say the
mhm,
pirate movement was founded absolutely, on the issues of copyright and patent reform and all that good stuff. But the beautiful thing about the pirate movement is that it expands so far beyond that it is disappointing when people get hyper focused on what you're describing as the first world issues and the yo, stop killing games and I want to torrent my movies. You're right. When people can't eat, can't afford rent, can't go to the hospital because they can't afford a hospital
mhm,
bill. Nothing about the killing games seems relevant. Even if it is relevant, you have to have a pecking order of what's going to be the importance here. And if you're placing stop killing games above stop the genocide in Gaza, your priorities are completely out of whack.
correct.
So again, I just wanted to thank you for saying all that, and I will give you the floor once again.
And and there's more than that. We have issues like the erosion of the people's right to free taxpayer-funded education. The right wing has a major problem with the popular right to education, with the poor people's access to education. Why? Because if you're educated, if you're uh, highly qualified, you will be able uh, to seek something better paying, something that will give you more money, more time, and more options. Uh, it turns education and qualification turn the tables on the oligarch. If you ask me, capitalism doesn't differ all that much from feudalism. So we haven't really paid as much attention as we should to real world topics, to meat space topics. But anyway, uh, also we have criticized very sharply the so-called flexibility of the neither left nor right doctrine. What do you mean neither left nor right? What do you mean context aware, context specific politics? Is there, we've tried right wing politics on immigration. What has it led to? Nothing. Nothing good, anyway. We've tried right wing economics, Reaganomics. We saw how Thatcher destroyed England. The whole uh, the UK's industry, thanks to Thatcher, is in tatters. And do you know why Thatcher destroyed uh, the British automotive industry? Because that's where the most powerful trade unions were. She hated unionism. She hated collective bargaining. Neoliberals, and sadly, and of course, libertarians, and sadly, as a consequence, many pirates, because we have libertarian people, right libertarian people in the pirate movement, lionize one-on-one bargaining. But when you're an employee, an interchangeable employee, that the employer can easily sack and replace in a nanosecond, you don't really have much of bargaining power with a conglomerate. They can tell you, well, thank you very much, Mr. However you're called. Pack up your stuff, go to the accountant's office, take your compensation, and don't let the door hit you in the ass on your way out. Everyone who has ever worked as an employee knows that. Those who think, well, I'm a coder and I can work for whoever I want, don't really understand this. Those of us who have been vulnerable can understand it. I've been vulnerable as an employee. I've been an employer too. So I have experience firsthand from both sides of the aisle. I mentioned the complete lack of cooperation with other national pirate parties. Truth be told, I'm not sure I could expect much in the way of coordination and cooperation. When throughout these years, in the 2009 to 2023 or 2024 or 2025 interval, we've seen so many pirate parties wane. Who can you cooperate with? When you don't have a contact to talk to, when the party seems inactive because its web page hasn't been updated in Google's in trillions of years or quintillions of years, if its web page doesn't even exist, and there's only a Wikipedia entry and someone who comes on Twitter or the PPI's discourse or whatever and speaks as a representative of that party, if I can't see what this party is really all about, what its track record is, and whether synergies can be had, what kind of coordination can I have with them? So, have these problems ever been handled? Have they ever been tackled? Not really. And now we're paying the price. In 2024, in the European election, the European Pirate Party was crushed. It lost 3 out of its 4 MEPs. Now it only has Marketa Gregorova, and we don't even know what files she works on. Nothing. As for the ideological bit, I mentioned the other time that without a political and moral compass, you can't expect to be taken seriously. Right-wing parties have a moral and political compass. We may disagree with it, we may find it deplorable, we may find it disagreeable, but it exists. We know it's there. We know what they stand for. With the whole opportunistic and neo-Le Penist, ni droite, ni gauche motto, we cannot be taken seriously by anyone. Right-wing parties have always been the traditional enemy of the pirate movement. Left-wing parties, when they see us flirting with right libertarian parties, with far-right movements and elements, they're just gonna close the door on us. And rightly so. I would never collaborate on anything with someone with whom I have not only fundamental ideological issues, but even ontological differences. So we decided that we need to start anew. Birgitta Jonsdottir, if you remember that famous Blue Sky post, had said, let's try something else. Florie Marie had spoken in a similar vein when she resigned from her PPI post. We realized that we must proceed in a different way, on a different path. And so we are seeking cooperations and synergies with like-minded individuals and parties so that we can regain the pirate, the good name of pirates. Whatever good name there was, of course.
Whatever good name you and I both see is possible within the movement, which is there, but you're right, and I must say, just to touch on all of this, as a time of recording, and if the results are to be believed, I believe the Czech Pirate Party has now gained 17 seats in the Czech parliament, which means they're going to be one of the larger parties, if not a part of the ruling government, who at this point we don't know. And to that, I say personally to all the Czech pirates who have succeeded, congratulations. However, you all now hold a position of immense importance within this movement. As some of the pirates who actually hold government positions, you all now are going to be the leading voices within the party. And I plead with you all to not take a position that you think is based on facts and logic, but one that's based on moral and human grounds. You know, I don't, how can you collaborate with a party that and discuss human rights when members of a certain party are willing to dehumanize people? You can't do it. Human rights are universal and they apply to all people universally. And it's appalling to think that there are members of our movement that may think different, that may think the left or socialism or communism is somehow worse than they think the communists will strip away your human rights. So we're going to side with the other guys that'll strip away your human rights. It's ridiculous. So again, thank you for speaking on this. This is much needed. You know, we have a movement that has great potential to help a lot of people, and have a mentality going into governance that can lead to the greatest support while also stripping away the most intrusive elements of government, which I think is one of the things we were meant to do to begin with. Yes, it's privacy, but are we not meant to help our fellow man, our fellow human, our fellow, pirate? We're all pirates, and some of us may have realized it sooner than others, but I don't want to speak too much. Like I said, this is your time. I want to give you the opportunity. However, we are timing out almost at 45 minutes. So I do want to just. I know there were a few things you wanted to speak on, the anti-choice loopholes or the Jerusalem Declaration on anti-Semitism. If you want to do a part 3, I'm more than happy to have you back in the future. It wouldn't be 2 weeks' time because we do have another guest, but in the future, and again, we could plan better, more adequately. I can make sure to be in better communication with you all. But ultimately, once again, I want to give you the floor to just say, speak your mind, Konstantinos. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Of course, we'll speak again, and we'll always be in touch. As for the anti-choice loopholes, it's something we noticed when we read the Greek medical code of ethics, and we were, what's going on here? Why would a doctor be given the right to deny a patient a procedure that is both fitting in the patient's case and aligned with the patient's needs, and also is legal, just because the doctor finds this procedure objectionable because of his own personal moral conscience, whatever mumbo jumbo. Why? What medical procedure could the doctor deny? Vaccination? Okay, we have sadly anti-vaxxer doctors. Sadly. And yes, they should have been stripped of their licenses. Could it be a removal of the appendix? Could it be a triple bypass? No, it's abortion. This piece of legislation targets women and trans men. It targets every person who can be pregnant. It's all about the doctor telling you, no, you ended up being pregnant, and even though you don't want to be pregnant, you will go through with it. You will suffer you will suffer the pregnancy. You will have to deal with the social implications, the vocational implications, because, well, too many businesses are not exactly pregnancy friendly. You will have to deal with labor and the risks of labor. You will have to deal with the cost of labor and the cost of pregnancy. You will have to deal with the cost and implication and the lost opportunities, etc., of having to bear an unwanted, unplanned child. And why? Just because I said so. Because I'm the doctor. Because it's my moral conscience. Your wishes, your dreams, your body, your bodily autonomy don't matter. And that's what we are trying to rectify uh, with, uh, with our proposal to, to change those clauses in the medical code of ethics of Greece. Uh, that's what we have right now as one of our more concrete uh, proposals for legislation and change for the better. More is coming, of course, but sadly, we're a small party, and there's only 24 hours in a day.
There might be only 24 hours in a day, but we have 365 days, and frankly, a year is a construct. So time, we got nothing but it. And frankly, I wanted to not only thank you for being here, but thank you for, a criticism real quick to close out of the pirate movement as a whole is sometimes you may hear of European-wide issues, or maybe European parties will speak on issues happening in the United States or elsewhere, but rarely do I hear about the issues happening within the country of a specific pirate party. I can't tell you the last time I've read a post about the uh, Austrian pirate party where they talked about Austria, or the pirate party of Romania talking about Romania. It always seems to be another country. So to hear about Greek issues and to hear about what's happening legislation within your country, that is what pirate parties are supposed to be. You're supposed to be each other's neighbor. You're supposed to look out for another and speak on the issues and perhaps raise awareness and transparency on the issues that other people may not see. So, with that being said, I feel as though the Pirate Party of Greece allows me as an American, not just as a Pirate Party member, a visual into the political standings of Greece and what's going on. And I wish you all the best. I hope you all successes, not only in growing your party, but in electoral successes. I hope your electoral successes mean something, just as I said for the Pirate Party of Czechia. I make it mean something. Don't just be in it to win. Let's be in it to make changes for the better for everybody. Konstantinos, thank you so much for being here. Folks, this has been Talk the Plank. We will have more episodes with the Pirate Party of Greece. And Konstantinos, I'm looking forward to having you back. We have much more to talk about in the future, and I'm looking forward to talking about it. 2 weeks' time, we'll be back, I believe. Currently scheduled for a Friday. It may happen on a Saturday. Folks, thank you so much for attending. Thank you, and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, Mitch. Have a nice weekend.
You as well. Thank you so much. Take care now.